104.3.
Enlightening, empowering, entertaining. Good morning. Happy Sunday morning. Welcome to Spectacular Magazine Radio Show. I'm your host, Phyllis Coley, CEO and editor of Spectacular Magazine. Spectacular Magazine Radio Show on Foxy is your community-focused resource, shining a spotlight on community organizations, community issues, and community-powered events. And those are events that impact our neighborhoods. Look, please visit our website at spectacularmag.com. Upload your event to spectacularmag.com, and while you're there, like us, follow us on all social media. You got to follow us so you can know what's going on, okay? For more than 15 years, the weekend in November, 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, has held a special significance, and this year is no different. Today, it's National Donor Sabbath. National Donor Sabbath is a time when leaders of all faith and denominations are invited to join with organ, eye, and tissue donation professionals and organizations to bring attention to the precious gift of life. Today in our community, it's Community Health Coalition is doing the work in our community. Now today, members of Community Health Coalition team will either be present or they have provided information on the precious gift of life to the following churches. That's St. Joseph AME, Union Baptist, Covenant Presbyterian, Orange Grove Missionary Baptist, Hickory Grove Missionary Baptist, St. Mark AME Zion, First United Antioch Baptist, St. Paul AME in Chapel Hill, Emmanuel AME, New Liberty Missionary Baptist, Sanctuary of Christ Holy Church, Mount Zion United Holy, Corinth United Church of Christ, Fisher Memorial, White Rock, St. Titus Episcopal, St. Joseph AMEC, and that's in Chapel Hill also, Antioch Baptist, and Holy Cross Catholic. Now, if your church was not on the list today, it's still not too late. You can call 919-490-6730, and they will be happy to arrange to come to your church. You love your church family. Give them the gift of life. Do you have a pet? Is that pet like a part of your family? I mean, doesn't it feel good when your pet smuggles up and licks you? Look, later in the show, my guest will be a person who is using the healing power of the animal-human bond on veterans with disabling conditions. Friday was the birthday of the United States Marine Corps. They were established in 1775. Saturday was Veterans Day. Joining me now is a Marine veteran who is currently serving his fellow veterans as the Secretary of the North Carolina Department of Military and Veteran Affairs. That's Secretary Larry Hall. Secretary Hall, thank you so much for being here today.
Well, thank you for having us. A pleasure to be here, Phyllis, and I hope your listening audience enjoyed the weekend and kept in mind what Veterans Day stands for, and we're honoring veterans and their tradition.
That's right. And the thing about the North Carolina Department, your Department of Military and Veteran Affairs has a devoted team of professionals committed to ensuring that all of those who serve and their loved ones are made aware and maximize all the benefits and resources available. But so, Larry, and I'm so hard because I'm about to call you Representative Hall. I'm sorry, Secretary Hall. How long has this department been in existence?
Well, Phyllis, the department was created in October 2015, and it was a combination of the pairing of the military advisor who was in the office of the governor and the Department of Veterans Affairs that was under the Department of Administration. And so they took those two entities, put them together as one in October of 2015 with the idea that there would be no additional cost to the government, but they could consolidate the services and be more effective for veterans.
Well, and you're talking about the services. Let's tell us a little bit about the services that your department offers.
Well, first of all, and I appreciate the opportunity, our department primarily acts as an advocate and appeals assistance for veterans who are seeking their benefits. And so after they come off of active duty, many times they'll come back to the community and request assistance to get educational assistance or health care access or even home loan or small business assistance. We have 14 state offices, and then each county either has an office for veterans assistance or that county contracts with us in some way, form, or fashion to provide that assistance. So much smaller counties may not have their own office, but if you look at Wake County, Durham County, Orange County, the surrounding counties, especially in metropolitan areas, they have their own county office, and we are the state office that assists them. We have greater access to the federal VA and can also assist with appeals.
Tell me about some of the things since you've been in office. You took this position in 2016, right? Or the beginning of 2017.
2017.
Right. And so talk about some of the things that you have tried to do to eliminate some of the red tape that I always hear about with the military services.
For us, two of the most important things, and when Governor Cooper appointed me, I was more than honored to have this position. And strangely enough, I became the first cabinet secretary in the history of North Carolina to have to be confirmed by the Senate, but did get confirmed by the Senate to do work for veterans. And two major issues we have, or pushes, are to create more jobs and job opportunities and job training opportunities for veterans, because President Obama realized under his presidency that too many veterans were leaving active duty and not getting the training they needed to plug in their skills into the civilian area. So job creation and partnerships with major corporations is one of our initiatives, and to try to double the number of veterans who are employed. And also we have an initiative to increase contracting for veterans. So all of the corporations we are creating partnerships with to try to ensure that veteran businesses are created and that they have opportunities to contract with our businesses, either coming to the state or existing businesses. We have several organizations we work with to do that. One is called NC for Me, which is primarily focused on employment, and NC Works, which is an existing Department of Commerce program. Those are two that we work on the business side. And then the North Carolina the North Carolina Defense Business Association is one that helps us with business. Lots of folks don't know that we have $2.5 billion in Department of Defense contracts in North Carolina, and of course we're trying to increase that, increase the number of businesses, and increase those veteran employees those businesses hire.
Now the 2.5, that's $1 billion?
2.5 billion for the defense contracting industry in North Carolina. Now, if you talk about the defense industry itself in North Carolina, if you talk about the number of both active duty as well as governmental employees in North Carolina, you're talking about $66 billion a year financial impact. And if you look at even the retirement pay of veterans in this state, that's $3.3 billion that comes into this state a year. So we're a hidden economy, approximately 1 million veterans in North Carolina, approximately 800,000 active duty and government employees. So we're in the community, we're all over the community. Veterans have families, so.
Yeah, and so now, and do you offer services for active duty military as well?
We offer transition services. Again, the biggest push is under the Obama administration, President Obama made it possible for the last 6 months of active duty, if a military person is in or accepted to a program, they can go at least half-time and get training at no cost to them. So when they step off active duty, they can begin employment in the civilian sector. So we do offer that assistance and many programs wrapped around that. But the active duty military have their own organizations within their commands to assist them. We assist them the day they step off active duty or in anticipation of coming off of active duty and coming back to the civilian world.
I hear a lot about homeless vets. Is there a particular push for housing and housing assistance?
There is in the local communities, and we often advocate with the local communities to have a program that will end homelessness. You know, vets are really independent. Many have been taught to live outside, and because of that independent spirit and not wanting to really ask for help because of pride, many times they will be homeless. We've cut the homeless veteran population in half in North Carolina, but that is woefully short when you consider we still have 1,000 veterans last night who were homeless. So we had 2,000 a year ago, but last night an average of 1,000 veterans in North Carolina had to be homeless and sleep outside.
how do people reach you? How can the veterans find you, or veteran families find you? How can they for services?
Well, what we would encourage is for folks to go to our website, millvets.nc.gov, or www.nc4vets.com.
And that's NC and then the number 4.
The number 4,
Vets.
VETS. And
.com.
on the initial address I gave you, millvets, remember the S, millvets.nc.gov, or 844-NC4-VETS, and you can reach us that way. And so if you go to the website, our services are listed there, and we'll have someone return your call if we don't immediately answer. We have a complaint form or an action form on the website as well. If you want to go to the website, fill out an action form to get some response, we can do it that way as well.
Secretary Larry Hall with the North Carolina Department of Military and Veteran Affairs, I thank you so much for being here today, and thank you so much for what you're doing for our military, for our veterans, for their families, and for the state of North Carolina.
Well, thank you for having us, and again, this Spotlight on Vets, we want it to be year-round. We appreciate you making this weekend so special for vets across the state. Thank you again.
All right, thank you. So when we come back, we're going to talk about that animal-human bond for veterans with disabling conditions. I'm Phyllis Coley. This is Spectacular Magazine radio show on Foxy 107, 104. Wait, let's get a picture.
Talk to your fans, say thank you for joining.
Oh, thank you again for joining us. And then what we normally do, so we're going to take a transition now, but what I want to do is turn the camera around so that you can see my assistants. Working with me today, there's Lawrence Davis, there's Kiana Green,
What's going on,
and of
guys?
course there's Dee Collins over there behind the board, and they're just always there. But as we make this transition, I got to go out and get some dogs and get some animals and bring them in.
2 minutes.
Okay. Hey, man. Yeah, doing good. Oh, what's up, man? Buddy.
I thought they were, I like here, sit. I sit right there. You sit right there. And so you see that when I said we were going, actually had animals, I mean, I was serious. Oh, I'm not on?
Yeah, you are.
Oh, okay. Hey, right here. Hey, sit. So are these, are they already trained to go with someone?
They are in training.
Service dog.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And he actually is an official therapy dog.
Okay, be sure you push the green button.
I got it.
Wait for it to click. Oh, okay. You know.
Sit.
You got about a minute in
Okay.
Down.
about a minute.
Okay.
Back up. Down. Calm down. Down.
What's the breed?
Down. This is a Labrador. That's a pit bull.
Okay.
A Labradoodle.
Boy.
So it's a poodle Labrador kind of mixture. Okay.
Love dogs. I got 2 minutes of food.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. How are you? I am so, and this is so good. So when we come back, how long do we have now?
36 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Right into it.
So we're gonna go right into it. We'll have about 7 or 8 minutes.
Somebody drop, then some music.
$104.3.
Welcome back to your community-focused resource, Spectacular Magazine radio show on Foxy 107, 104. I'm your host, Phyllis Coley. Today we are saluting our veterans. Vets to Vets United. That's Veterinarians to Veterans United. It's a nonprofit organization created to unite veterans and dogs for a common goal. That's improving and saving lives. Joining me now is the Executive Director of Vets to Vets United, Dr. Terry Morris. Welcome to Spectacular Magazine radio show.
Thank you so much. It's so wonderful to be here.
Wonderful. Listen, tell me, when and why did you start your organization, Vets to Vets?
We started the organization back in 2012, and I basically just asked God to please give me something that I can do that I was really, really passionate about. And of course, since I'm a veterinarian, helping animals is definitely there.
Okay.
My other passion is helping people. So though I asked for one passion, he gave me two, and we have those combined into one.
And they've done that. And we are, so being, what's the benefit? What's it of having a service dog for a veteran?
There are so many benefits to having a service dog. First of all, there is unconditional love coming to you immediately. And for many service members who are suffering from emotional disabilities or physical disabilities or both, they may be estranged from family or friends, or they may just be alone. And just having that emotional support and unconditional love coming immediately, it makes a huge difference in the life of anyone, as you could imagine, who may not have a person or someone in their life or an animal in their life. On top of that, there's a service that these animals that can provide for veterans with emotional and physical disabilities. So, and it all depends on, each dog is specifically trained to meet the need of the veteran. So it can all depend on exactly what that veteran needs.
Okay, so does the veteran have to be along with the dog when they're going through the training?
Yes, they actually, once they're partnered, then the veteran actually has to come to training once a week.
Oh, okay, so let's talk, when you talk about their partner, what is that process? What's the process?
The process is if they don't already have a dog, what we do is we will look at rescue sites and shelters, and we'll try to find a dog from there, just from Googling it on the web. And then once we get through that, we'll have a phone conversation with the rescue or shelter to get as much history as we can about the animal. And if everything goes well there, then we'll go and visit. And that is the veteran and the whole family, anyone in the household. We'll go and visit, and then we'll temperament test the animal. And if all that goes well, then we'll go ahead and finalize the adoption.
Okay.
So we're actually asked to keep the animal for a couple of weeks first, and then finalize the adoption.
To make sure that they're gonna connect.
We want to make sure that the animal's going to be happy, and that the family or the veteran, if it's just a single person, is going to be happy. And if the veteran already has a dog, we also will consider that too. So if they already have a dog, the bond is already established. So, and that's the first thing you have to have in order to even begin training. So it's a little bit easier, really, if they already have that bond established.
Do you only work with dogs?
No, actually, we have one therapy cat in training now, and we have another therapy cat. So, yes, we'll work with different species. Now, each person can choose what they'd like to connect with. Some people might connect with a bird. If it's a rescue and it's in a shelter, that's fine. We'll take a bird or a rabbit or different types of species. So, yes, whatever they need. Now, we only train the dogs.
That's what I was about to say. So now the rabbit's trainable. Okay, so that's what and that's what I was going to ask you. What's the cost? What is the cost to the veteran?
The cost is totally free. We don't
Are
charge
you serious?
anything for veterinary care, food, training supplies, training. It's all free, totally free for the veteran.
Now, how long is the training?
The training can last approximately, on average, it's about 2 years. So it's a long-term process. So when they make that commitment that they want to come and join our program or our Vets to Vets family, it's a long-term commitment. It takes about approximately 2 years on average to learn how to train your own.
But the animal is with the veteran during that 2-year time.
Yes, exactly. And
Okay.
They're building a relationship. They're building that bond. The animal is learning to trust this person, this new person that they're meeting, and the veteran is learning how to trust and rely on this dog. So the relationship is, built upon trust and communication and training.
Does a doctor have to refer the patient, to come in to get the dog, or can the veteran just decide, I think this would be good for me? How does that work?
Yeah, each veteran must be referred to by a doctor.
Okay.
So a psychotherapist, a psychologist will actually send a letter stating that they think that having a service animal would benefit the veteran.
And so, talk a little bit about what they do. What goes on in that training?
We start off with basic obedience. That's where everything starts. It's basic obedience, and then while we're learning basic obedience, we'll also begin training for therapy. Because one of the things that we do is take them through a therapy evaluation, and they're registered as pet partners, therapy animals, and we give back to the community. That's our way of giving back by taking these animals to visit other people in need. For example, veterans in hospice over at the Durham Medical VA and CLC units. We also take veterans to visit seniors once a month, and also adults with mental disabilities. In addition to adults that have Alzheimer's, and there's actually a veteran that participated in a children's reading book club. So that's part of our training. And then we just keep going on until service. And there are certain standards that have to be met in order to qualify for both therapy and service. And so once they meet those standards, then they're able to graduate.
So now, after graduation, do you still stay in touch with the veterans and the animal?
Definitely.
Okay.
The veterans have the opportunity, if they need a refresher, to come back anytime they want. We also keep in touch on Facebook, phone calls, text messages, just hi, how you doing? Is everything going okay? And everybody seems to be doing very well. We had our first graduation in 2016. June of 2016, graduated 10 teams, and they all seem to be doing extremely well. Very
Okay.
proud of them.
And you're about to have another graduation, aren't you?
Yes, we are. On December 16th will be our second graduation, and we are just so excited.
How many are in this class?
We're not sure yet. We actually have our final evaluations this month, and we'll make that determination after those evaluations are completed.
Oh, okay, all right, and then you'll know that. So after they finish with the 2 years, so now the dog still needs veterinary services. They still need to get shots. Is there
Yes.
any assistance to help with that?
Yes, and it's such a blessing that my fellow veterinarians have all come together, or coming together. We're recruiting more each day, and saying that we're going to help the veterans and their animals. We're going to give back too. And so we have 8 veterinarians right now who have actually adopted a team. And for the life of that animal, that veteran does not have to pay anything to receive veterinary care from those veterinarians. And then we have other veterinarians who have offered significant discounts in veterinary care. So we're very, very grateful for our veterinary partners in the Triangle area.
So how would people find you?
They can find us on our Facebook page.
Okay.
They can find us.
And that's just called Vets to Vets.
Vets to Vets United Inc.
Inc. Okay.
And also on our website, they can find us. And so it's www.vetstoVetsUnited.org.
And that's VETS and then TO, not the number 2.
Right.
Okay.
VETS and TO.
Okay.
And I'd like to also, if I could mention that there's the PAWS Act out right now in Congress, and we are trying our best to get support for veterans that are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder.
Now, what do you call that? It's called PAWS, PAWS?
PAWS.
Okay, that's the acronym.
Yes,
Okay.
it is. And we are trying to get support for veterans suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder who need financial assistance from the Department of Veteran Affairs for these animals. Right now, the Department of Veteran Affairs does not help with financial assistance for animals for veterans that have post-traumatic stress disorder, though they recognize post-traumatic stress disorder as a disability.
And I do need to mention that we have 2 service dogs here in the studio with us this morning. I mean, they are laying here, they are quiet, but when they first greeted me, they were just so friendly and so loving. But they're just here, they're quiet, they're so, I just wish my dog would lay and be quiet like that. But I mean, they are really doing it. This is wonderful. Listen, thank you so much. I've been talking to Dr. Terry Morris, who is the Executive Director of Vets to Vets United, Inc., which is veterinarians to veterans. This is all about service dogs, service animals. Before this, we had Secretary Larry Hall, who is the Secretary of the Department, the North Carolina Department of Military and Veteran Affairs. To all of our veterans, we salute you. I'm Phyllis Coley. This is Spectacular Magazine radio show on Foxy 107, 104. Until next time, I'll be back in 2 weeks. Until next time, see ya. Painless, wasn't it? Wasn't it painless?
You made it
Painless.
You're so sweet. Thank you.
Come on, we're going to take a picture with the doggy. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me, baby. Come on, Lauren. Okay. Come over here and
All right.
come on,
Abby, baby. Abby.
He's asleep. He's asleep.
Come on, sugar booger.
He said, y'all woke me up way too early. Move the chair, Kim.
Get her a sit.
Will you let me hold it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sit. Are you on there?
He said, I am tired, y'all. And then this one gonna lay down because the other one laying down.
Smelling your foot.
Do you want them seated? Because I can't get them seated.
What you want them to do, Lawrence?
I'm not.
Do you want
I
them to
want
sit
to.
up?
I want to